Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Making the stop there, Danielle Hunter.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Completing it here to Marvin Jones. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down. Looked like man coverage, able to read it there on the outside for the completion. That'll be something to track as the game goes along here.
It certainly will, and there's so many different ways that they will try to figure out whether they're man or zone. Sometimes you'll run a guy in motion to see if someone runs with him. Other times you'll empty out the backfield, spread it out, and see if everyone comes out and matches up. In any event, anytime you see man coverage, you tell your guys you got to win those matchups, because if you do, you'll get the football and probably for a nice game.
Well, Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 55 yards. And the Lions are going to take a first quarter lead. Excellent start there. First drive of the season. Big-time success putting it in the end zone.
And remember, that was done without any real map of how to do it. In other words, the deeper you get into the season, you got game film to work off of, tendencies to work off of. The first drive of the season, things can be entirely different than what you've seen in the past. It's a really good job of execution by them.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And this first play will get him back to the 25, but that's going to be it.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Second down, Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. The Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to be marked down deep in Detroit territory. A big play there. Cousins to Thielen. 48 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And this will be incomplete. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Stafford. Caught on the right side by Jones. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing to Stanford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. And out now come the Vikings. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away,
this is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there for Minnesota. 62 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Buying time to his left. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Ziggy Ansah. Able to drop him for a loss of 4.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Darius Slay with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
On the ground, it's Riddick. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Allen's got it complete. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even...
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Everson Griffin in there to drop it for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long.
Well, that's the second time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so they can throw the football.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the gun, here's Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Stafford. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sacks on back-to-back plays. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth.
One of the things I love about this game is there's a match of wits throughout the game. Who's going to get the advantage? Who's going to catch someone off guard? I felt like the offense thought they might catch the defense off balance with that play call, but unfortunately, that didn't work for them.
And now out comes Minnesota. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Cousins now. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Cousins. He's going to fire one deep over them. This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to be marked down deep in Detroit territory. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 42 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They run with Thomas, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The defensive end, Cameron Wake, brings him down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now Thomas. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. This is Thomas. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. Carlson able to put this one through. So, all right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. Returning it, John Ross. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Cousins now on second down. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On the ground, it's Thomas. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. The Vikings on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Cousins. And this one is incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them putting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Stafford. The left side completion to Jones. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
To throw on second down is Stafford. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Daniil Hunter in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Now here's Ross. A great return there of 22 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. And they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over. So here come the Lions now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Out to the flat for Reddick. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to have a 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Ross on the return. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Detroit getting set to go now. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
After that incompletion, I almost get the sense that he's going to look up at the booth and kind of look at us and say, hey, you guys got any suggestions? It's been that kind of game, hasn't it? They've had him on the run throughout.
Yeah. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground, and the Vikings pick up the football. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room where they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
A gain of 6 there on first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a first down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Stafford. Incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
Now it's Stafford. And that's off the mark. Incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 18 yards there and a first down. Now Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. Stafford now to throw. He hits Riddick underneath. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. The Lions need to move. They're hustling to the line now. Throwing is Stafford. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Stafford looks to throw again. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. And that'll make it third down.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Stafford on third down. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to get it back to a 1-score game. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Right back to him on first down. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions.
Defense.
As they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. And they'll run it here. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
On 3rd down, it's Thomas. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. And Thomas seems to be in some pain. He's still on the ground. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. The kick by Carlson is good. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores. So, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done, but, boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again, but they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly, then they'll take it from there.
And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. One last throw here for Stafford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now.